Hey everybody, this is Totally Tropical Todd. I wanted to give a midday update here. The reason I'm not in front of my computer and I'm out in the garden is because the graphics haven't really changed much since this morning. There's nothing really significant in the forecast that's changed. But what I wanted to do is just tell you, listen, today is the day for making preparations. Now here in South Florida, I'm going to bring in some things that, could become projectiles for tropical storm force winds, which we can get, but I'm not going to board my windows. But if you're in Central Florida, if you're on the West Coast, if you're on the Northeast coast of Florida, this is a very different storm than we've had before. This is different than you've experienced probably most of you in your lifetimes. Tampa Bay is the devastation that we could see there is not really comparable to anything we've seen in this state. Maybe, since Andrew or maybe ever. So I really, those of you who've seen me doing this for many years now know I'm not an alarmist. I usually am the voice of reason and calm. This is not a storm to take lightly though. So I hope that I've gained your trust over the years, and I'm telling you, if you're on the West Coast and you have not evacuated, please get out of Dodge. If you're in Central Florida, particularly in the Orlando region or anywhere in that I-4 corridor, I really recommend evacuating if you can. Even once this moves on land, it's still projected to be a Cat 2 hurricane over Orlando, right? Like in the middle of the state. So, making landfall as a strong Cat 3 to Cat 4, although, anything can happen. The Gulf is very warm. So, who knows what's going to happen? We do know there's going to be massive storm surge, massive hurricane force wind damage along the West Coast. But what we get in terms of like in the state, like Orlando area, is a bit of a wild card. They're expecting up to 16 inches of rain in that area, which, with massive flash flooding. And one thing I just need to reiterate and point out, 1 inch of rain can cause rivers to rise much more than 1 inch, right? So, if you're saying, oh, well, the river is at least 5 feet below my house, no big deal, we're not going to get 5 feet of rain. No, you're not going to get 5 feet of rain, right? But if you get 2 feet of rain falling over hundreds of square miles, and that rain all drains down into the rivers, those rivers can rise by much more than 2 feet. So it could be 10 feet, it could be much more. So, if you're only a few feet above the water line, this could be very devastating for your home. So please find somewhere safe. I would say if you're in that I-4 corridor area, definitely this is one to put up the storm shutters for, and to maybe evacuate if you're anywhere near, water line, anywhere near the coast. I would get out of, I would leave. I would definitely seek shelter elsewhere. I would, head towards South Florida, or if you're further north, head north out of town. But I would get out of the, anywhere from, let's say, Jacksonville to, to down to the Space Coast on the East Coast. I would say, anywhere from, Gainesville down to like Oviedo in, maybe even a little bit further south, and certainly, Tampa, Sarasota, St. Pete, and even down to, Fort Myers and up to, Cedar Key. I would say I would just get out. And again, I don't think I'm an alarmist here. I do say it's better to be overly safe and regret that, oh, we shouldn't have left, than the opposite, right? So please be careful, and I will come back with another update in about 6 hours time. Or I'm sorry, I'll come up with another update around 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and then possibly again after 11 p.m. So stay tuned and good luck, but take the day to prepare or evacuate.